Before we're gonna start, I need to make one thing very clear. I would never get to actual position in my life that I have right now without cosplay community and without these beautiful people. My business, my skills, my job, my social circle, my friends, and even my family, all that is somehow connected to cosplay community. Because cosplay community is known for its acceptance. For me, it was a place where I was accepted and I was able to build my own social circle and understand that I am not okay, despite the fact that I may act differently, behave differently, or think differently. Yet also, I don't want to deny the fact that cosplay community is first of all an artistic and creative community. And this means that it shares the same kind of issues as any other artistic community. It's a competitive field where many people seek for validation and bring into community their own traumas. And while we need to help people to deal with their own traumas, I also can't deny the fact that this trauma may develop certain toxic patterns, which may be very harmful, especially for young people and for newcomers. And today, I want to share my kind of experience, and mind that this is just my experience, about dealing with certain toxic patterns, which were quite harmful for me. Let members of the community know what kind of behavior may be harmful for others, especially if you can find it not inside other people, but inside yourself. Before we're gonna start, I need to make another thing very clear. I'm not a professional psychologist. I'm just a member of cosplay community, and I've been a member of cosplay community for over a decade, and I'm just sharing my experience. This is something that I've been experiencing myself, or other my friends been experiencing with it, or other it's something that I've been finding in myself and been working with it. But also, I'm not denying the fact that dealing with this kind of experience was very harmful for me. Because in the end, this brought feeling of being not okay. And I spent years trying to bring feeling of okay back. And I want other people, especially younger people, to avoid this feeling not okay. Because this can stop you, this can slow you down, this can be very harmful, and this can leave very tragic scars on your own mental health and on your own soul. But please mind, I'm not a professional one, okay? If you disagree with some point of this video, please let me know in comment section. I'll be always glad to talk about that. Yet, we're gonna move to the video, and the first red flag may be quite obvious. And the first flag may sound pretty obvious for people because it's somehow connected to the problem of parasocial relationships, which may be a topic for a different video. But let's start about things that I call praise bombing. Basically, what is praise bombing? Praise bombing may sound the same as just giving people compliments, and honestly, I encourage to give people compliments. Leave positive comments on Instagram posts. Tell people compliments on conventions, like support people. If you have energy, if you have ability to do that, I highly recommend to develop the skills because basically it helps others and it also encourages you. But I need to make one thing very clear. There is a big difference between giving compliments and between bomb praising, because bomb praising is somehow connected to very dangerous pattern, which is called idealization. So how does this work? You have your own public pictures. It's based on your, like, I don't know, your works, your appearance, like your behavior and conventions that other people who are not part of your friend group see. It's something that you post online. It's something that you share, some certain memes, but it's your public picture. And it's somehow connected to your real personality, but still it can be very, very different. And some people may take a public picture, and based on that, they will try to build their own personality, which basically can be their own best friend. Idealization is quite a complicated process and it's hard to describe it, but the main thing which is pretty harmful is the fact that this ideal picture will be very, very different from your real personality. So at some point when you meet someone and they will tell that you are the best version, they absolutely adore you and they can never be ever compared about you. This performative humiliation is also a thing, is a big red flag. I would be very aware. If someone is telling that you're the best of the best, there is no other better than you, and no one can be really comparable to you, that it was their life dreaming to be with you and they are crying of happiness, I would be very aware. Because basically, you are already their best friends. You just don't know about. And you may think, okay, Maria, but what is the problem? Okay, like there is some person and they have me as their best friends in their mind. And the process with the idealization is next. Where you have this idealization, then you also will have a depressivation, because at some point they may meet real you and you will be different from the picture in their head, right? And there may start process of depressivation. Then you will become the worst You will become aggressive, you will become bad, because you are not matching picture in their head. And we need to also make one thing very clear. When person creates certain picture of you in their head, they also take some kind of mental loan from their own psychic. And when this mental loan could be paid because the person with whom they became friends in their mind is basically doesn't exist, this is very, very upsetting process. And this process may be put it against the person whom they use as a base for their own, ideal portrait of best friend. And the process of deprivation is very dangerous because it may bring you the feelings that you are not okay, that you did something wrong, because person is upset with you. And usually when people are upset with us, we ask ourselves, did we do anything wrong? You won't be able to find any proper answer because it's not something which is in circle of your responsibility. But it may bring you the feelings that you are not a good person, that there is something wrong with you. And this may boost your feeling of insecurity and feeling of not okay. That may drop your self-esteem and can be very harmful for a very long period of time. I'm talking about months, if not years. And the next red flag that I'll be willing to talk about is an insecure grandiosity. Insecure grandiosity is quite a complicated description, and it was very hard for me to put it into words. But I hope that I will be able to somehow explain it and somehow you will understand what I'm talking about. I remember when a few years ago I made a post on my Instagram about people being insecure and why I am very accurate with this type of people. And honestly, I met some kind of backlash, as many people didn't agree with me at that point, and they believe that when people are insecure, it's our obligation to support them, validate them, and help them to get a proper, secure position about their own confidence. But here is the thing, there is a difference between low self-esteem and insecure grandiosity. And I will explain it with a plank.
So this is post-production, Maria, and just wanted to let you know that I meant bar. Everywhere I tell plank, I meant bar. I'm sorry, English is not my first language, and sometimes I still mess it up.
Imagine we have a certain level, certain plank that you can get through. And for example, people who have a very normal self-esteem, which is very related to reality, can easily get there. Yeah, can easily take it, can easily perform with it and don't have any kind of issues. Some may have a higher plan and they will need to put certain effort in order to achieve it, but they still are able to do that while understanding that this is honestly above their normal abilities. When you have people with low self-esteem, their real plan may be here, but they believe that their plan is much lower, lower and lower. They won't really try to do anything that they are capable of because they believe they can't really do that. They have no ability to do so. Let's imagine that there is a props maker and they can go into competition and get a first place, but they don't really do that because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they are capable to create a project which honestly can possess and get any kind of prize. While insecure grandiosity is about very different thing, because people there imagine that their real plank will be somewhere here. Yeah, well, in reality, it's somewhere here. And in order for them to achieve this plank, which they think as their own normality, they need to spend a lot of effort. They will need support from others. They will need support from their own friends, family, everything. They will need to put a lot of effort in order to sustain this plank. And because of that, they constantly feel that they are not good enough. They will need a constant attention and constant validation in order to be able to get to this plank, which honestly they need to put effort to get in. They can't really accept the idea that their normal plank is lower than it should be. If you will talk about example, I can take my own example a few years ago. When I've been curating my Instagram as a pretty cosplay model, I usually had a lot of mental breakdowns because my picture in the mirror was quite different from what I've been seeing on my own Instagram page. Because on Instagram, I was able to, choose the right posing, make the best picture, set up a very proper and nice photo shoot. But that wasn't actual me. Actual me in the mirror was quite different, still beautiful, but not but not the same one as on well curated pictures made by professional photographer. And because of that, I had a lot of mental breakdown and a lot of my energy been spending on the idea of getting to this certain level, which honestly still was kind of accessible for me, but with a certain effort. When I was able to understand that my real position and my real self-esteem, that I'm able to hold without issue, is actually on other level, life became so much easier, because this doesn't mean that I'm not okay, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. This just means that right now I'm able to possess certain level. Maybe I'll be able to get to that level, but I will need to practice, I will need to learn my skill, and I need to become a better person. And honestly, that was a life-changing experience. And you will ask, Maria, what is the difference between people with low self-esteem and between people with, like, this insecure grandiosity complex? And the difference is that people with low self-esteem never tell that they are worthless, that they are the worst, and they hate themselves, but they are not able to achieve any kind of plan. They don't have a tragedy of like failing because they honestly rarely try. They rarely try to do something which honestly they are capable of, because they don't really believe that this is something that they are able to achieve. While people with insecure grandiosity constantly overestimate themselves, constantly are not able to succeed or achieve any plank without big effort, or without understanding that they have lack of something, or they will require some practice or some skill or certain passions, and because of that they will feel absolutely desperate and absolutely bad about themselves. They will think that they are worst of the host, everybody hates them, and they are not worthy of absolutely anything. And this is the biggest difference between low self-esteem and insecure grandiosity. And you will ask me, but Maria, why shouldn't we support people who are basically insecure about themselves? But here is the thing. The self-esteem of these people is not stable. People with stable self-esteem definitely can accept support and validation and everything and use it in order to become better or in order to get through hard times. But for people with insecure grandiosity, it's very different. They don't have established self-esteem. And honestly, they will rely on things that others tell them. And if you will try to support this person, put in your energy, your effort, your validation, your support, you very quickly may find them not confident but entitled about themselves. They may think right now that they don't really need your support, and it's not a thing that they need right now because they are achieving so much, they can achieve new levels. So why they ever should care about something that you've been offering them? Because the entitlement is again very different from confidence. And this is honestly part of the very upset and upside circles, because after that, people with insecure grandiosity will lose support from those who've been helping them before, and will find themselves in the bottom because they weren't able to achieve certain level without support of others. And sadly, because of their insecurity and unstable self-esteem, they weren't able to cherish and appreciate the support that helped them to get this far. Maria, but how should I understand what I am capable to help people and where I should help, and when it's better to pass through and don't get myself into troubles? And with that, I'll be glad to go into our next red flag, which honestly is quite personal for me. And this flag is called the Rasher complex. If you will ask me, Maria, can you give me an example? I will tell you, me. I am this example. I am this red flag, a walking red flag called Rasher complex. Basically, what does ratio complex means? With describing of this pattern, this red flag, I would like to refer to theory which is called triangle of Karpman, and it always includes three persons. There is a rescuer, there is a victim, and there is a prosecutor. And the problem with rescuer is next. We should understand it's completely normal to help people. And there are two rules that you always need to apply to when people are asking for help and when you have enough resources to help these people. If you covered all your basic needs, if you have something extra on your side, extra attention, extra money, extra energy, it's always a good thing to help. If person is seeking for your help, especially if this is someone who is related to you, your friend, your family members, it's a good thing to help them, even invest in your own basic needs. And the very different thing is to help others, spending everything that you have, not in terms of money, but in terms of time, energy, and other meaningful resources. And also helping others while they never really ask for help. This is my very personal issue, and I've been working with it for years. I understand quite well how toxic this pattern may be, because behind the idea of helping others and supporting others may be a very toxic idea of controlling and loaning, which honestly can push people out from you. With ratio complex, you will never feel appreciated enough. You will never feel that something that you invested in others returned back in full. You will always give more than you are capable to provide. and you will always have very high expectations toward others, and others will feel this expectation from your side and may try to avoid you. The biggest problem starts when person with racial complex is not able to proceed, that like they need to work this out, and at some point they may start to seek for troubles or seek for chaos in order to help. This can be very harmful for communities, because I'm pretty sure you've seen this type of people who are constantly trying to protect others or get into any kind of drama or scandal, take any side, or save anyone from anyone, while honestly they never been asked about that. And this may produce a lot of chaos, because something which may be very personal somehow become very public and harmful for both sides, who were able to decide their own conflict in personal, and now they have to deal with like public consequences. Because of that, racial complex is a very dangerous red flag, and honestly I've been spending years trying to fight it. And I know that popular culture constantly teaches us that we need to help others no matter what, and this is very important, and we need to invest all ourselves into help to those who seek for this help, for those who seek and need our support. But in reality, you need to be very aware with it, because you can provide people mental loans that they won't be really capable to pay off, and really never really ask for this kind of loans. Furthermore, rashers usually end up tying parts with another red flag in cosplay community, and their relationships may be very toxic and very harmful, not only for themselves but also for people who surround them. And the next red flag that I'd be willing to talk about is definitely a victim complex. Again, there is some kind of the summary that I want to talk about, and it will sound next. We need to differ really carefully the meaning of victim in terms of psychology and the term of victim in terms of society. So we need to understand very well. There are people with victim mentality, but there are actual victims who can be victims of hate crimes, of any other type of crimes, who basically really, really need our support. And they are objectively in some kind of harm or in some kind of danger. And it's our responsible as members of the society to provide them certain support as much as we are able to. And well, so we need to cross a line between people who are objectively in some kind of danger or in some kind of harm, and between people who have a very specific mindset, who can be quite harmful for others and can be quite toxic for overall community. As I said previously, we have a triangle of Karpman, and we have like 3 roles. The problem is that they are not constantly in some kind of trouble. The problem is someone is constantly harming them, and every problem which is happening is problem about themselves. With people who have this kind of victim mentality or victim complex, however you would like to call it, the biggest problem is that something is constantly not right, someone is constantly harming them, and no matter how much you're going to help them, this will never be enough. With people who are in need and to whom you will come to help, if everything goes normal, this will be appreciated. If someone been asking for help and you arrived and provided some kind of help or support, they will always remember it and appreciate it. But with people who have this certain type of victim mentality, any help won't really be enough. No matter how much you're going to help and how much energy you're going to spend on them, there will be constantly some kind of issue, and there won't never be a moment when person with victim mentality will ever tell you, oh my god, thank you, now I feel better, thank you. No matter what, this never will be enough, life will never become fine, and it will never be a moment when dark periods will be ended. No matter what will happen, every story will be only about themselves, and they will be constantly thinking all about their own role and what they may be losing in any kind of the story. I also may be called a person with a victim mentality because, I've been like that for the past years. But I may tell a very big difference, and I can tell this with one very strict example. In the beginning of the invasion, back in 2022, a variety of people have been writing to me, and I've been talking with a variety of people because many people wanted to provide support. And honestly, I'm still grateful for all the support, no matter which one it was, through when the hardest time were here. People were helping with money, people were helping with informational support, people were spreading awareness, people were talking, people just were talking to me and helping me to get through this darkest time. People were opening their apartments and supporting me. But still, I had few a bit unpleasant talk where people were talking about the idea that honestly, in this situation, they were hurted more. And absolutely can agree. My position wasn't the worst one. I was able to return back home. I was able to restore studio. But honestly, I am very sorry, but I can't compare like the states that like me or my friends were going through with the idea of person who just was stressed through reading news. It's not something that can be compared. And while I can understand that reading news can be quite stressful, especially this amount of time, I can't really compare it with experience of becoming a sudden refugee in one day, or with the idea of, I don't know, like losing everything that you have, or idea of being like threatened for your life and not knowing what eventually will happen tomorrow. And with that, I think this was one of the best examples of victim mentality. Victim mentality will never have anyone who will require their help. They always will be the one who will require your help. And the problem is next, when there will be a moment where you will find out that you can't help this person anymore, you're not able, or either you don't want to, you will eventually become a persecutor. You will eventually become the one who is hurting them. You will eventually become the one who is like providing the issue. You will be the problematic person. And let's be honest, like this information will be easily shared within community, which again, may ask you a question. Am I okay or am I not? I know that me as a lecturer may deal a lot with this type of people because this is some kind of, matching problems. But still, I would be very aware because this may leave you with the idea that helping people is overall not a good idea. And I find this idea very harmful. It's a good idea to help each other. It's a good idea to support each other. And again, I know that from my own side because I've been trying to help others. And also I had period in my life when I required help. And I'm not sure that I'll be able to get through without this help. And I'm very, very grateful for it until this very day. But also, I understand that there are certain people who will never get enough. And with that, you just will be able to spend everything that you have, live on the ground, and get a feeling in the end that you did something wrong, that you eventually hurted someone, and that you are not okay. And I believe that feeling of being not okay is one of the most harmful and traumatic experience you can get inside cosplay community. Another problem with people who have this victim complex is next. As soon as you become their worst enemy, and as soon as you become the persecutor, they may proceed another toxic pattern. And this toxic pattern I'd be willing to talk about today. This will be the final for today. So I just want to raise a question about the red flag, which is called bad mouthing. And again, there are a few big important differences. A few years ago, for myself, I decided that basically I will stop gossiping about people. I will never talk about other people. I will never talk about stories of our people. I will never talk about, like, some fun experience. I will never share my own awareness or my own, kind of stories. I just became very close about that. And right now, I think that it wasn't the smartest decision because, honestly, in my opinion, if the person is able to gossip but do it positively without harming others, I see it even as some kind of the green flag. Because if person is able to tell stories, like watch other people and share their experience, share some funny memories, and overall provide positive kind of experience while talking about others. Because while we gossip, we can gossip about a variety of things. Oh, someone started to date, or someone recently got a house, or recently someone married, or they finished a new project, they got the first prize. And it becomes bad-mouthing at the point when any of these certain scenarios get some kind of humiliating or negative effect. Oh my God, they got the first prize, but they are not worthy of that. They don't really deserve this first place. It was completely different person. Maybe this is because they are no injuries, because let's be honest, they weren't capable to crack such complicated projects by themselves. And this is some kind of the very toxic bad-mouthing, which should be a very big red flag. Because again, talking about people is a very normal thing. Telling something like, oh my God, he got the first place. This is so cool, because he's been growing so fast within this year. And I am pretty amazed by this fact. Or for example, oh, do you know that he recently got some kind of new tools and new machines, and because of that he was able to produce much more complicated stuff. I'm curious, what kind of machine is he using? What kind of 3D printer? Or maybe, this is some kind of new technology. Maybe I should ask him. It's a very good thing. But when you try to put people down, it's something that I would be very aware of. And also, again, there is another different thing, because we also may spread awareness about certain people. Because I know, and I had this kind of experience in my life when I've been telling, like, be aware of this person, they can be dangerous for you because of certain things. This can be a variety of things. They may be some kind of predators, they may be some kind of groomers, they may be some kind of scammers, or something like basically more subjective negative experience. And there is a difference between this and bad mouthing too. And I would tell two. First thing, when you try to spread awareness, you usually do this once. Hey, I had a certain experience with this person and like it didn't go pleasant. So I just want to share it with you so you will be aware. While bad mouthing is definitely about constant talk badly about other human beings. They will repeat this topic again and again, calling someone stupid, calling someone not worthy, calling someone untalented, again, and again. And while I can understand that also we can talk the same way about people who really harmed us a lot, also I would talk about this with people to whom I trust and who understand that the issue is not about people, the issue is about situation. And another big difference between spreading awareness and basically bad-mouthing people is that spreading awareness doesn't really put people down. With bad-mouthing, people usually have intentions to make someone look stupid, small, not worthy, like basically not okay. While in spreading awareness, you just talk about certain case and about certain scenario which was unpleasant to you and that you objectively share it with others. And just keep your eyes open. If someone is talking badly about others, if this is constant, and if they try to put them as like, not worthy, not on their level, I would be very, very aware of this person. As today they're talking about someone else, but tomorrow they will definitely talk about you. And this video, I would like to end with the same question as I've been starting it. What should I do if I noticed any of this red flag inside myself? And I would tell that the fact that you already notice something, that you will be willing to change, adapt, and become a better person is already a great sign of self-awareness. From years of working on myself, from years of therapy, of basically living like in like society, I learned one thing. As soon as you are able to understand a certain issue about yourself, you already did half of the job. Maybe in the next videos, I'll be able to tell more how you can work with it, how you can make your life overall better, how you can, get rid of certain, negative traits of toxic patterns, because let's be honest, we still all can gather them. If you are interested, please let me know again in the comment section. But something that I wanted to tell is that all of us are not perfect. All of us are not okay sometimes. All of us are do certain actions which may be considered as not okay. Because I know only one place where people never actually do mistakes, and this place is called cemetery. So here is it. I was glad to talk with you. I hope this video was useful for you. And I hope that with help of this video, I will be able to contribute a bit and make overall cosplay community a bit better experience. So my name is Maria. You may know me as Phoenix Vatalis, or one of the owners of a Cosplay Studio. And thank you very much for watching this video, and until we meet again.